Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. This is a Build with Bear bonus stream. We're going to be playing some Hearthstone. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote into chat. Uh, and I'm going to say hi to everybody. Zeno, thank you for hosting the stream. And thank you to Air for being here. Yeah, if you're subscribing through the Bear Cave Lego Scythe emote in the chat, we're hanging out here in the intro zone before we get into things. And I mentioned it off stream. Today, the day that we are streaming, the 3rd of March, is my debut on network television. Hey, Julie, welcome. And I forgot this was the 10-year anniversary. Aristofan's here. Hi, Aristofan. Of me making my appearance on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. I made 2 appearances on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. One, I am very much in the. Sorry, weirdly to say, 3 appearances on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. One in the background, and there's no way you can see that it's me. This is all late night, unfortunately, and not the Tonight Show. So it's hard to find the archives of it. Then I made an appearance as Jeff the Nerd, which we will watch here. And then I later made an appearance. You may remember Yervis, who had the hit comedy song that people didn't know was a comedy song, What Does the Fox Say? They did a live version of it, basically recreating parts of the music video live on Fallon, and I was the elephant in that. Uh, uh, that was a comedy song. What Does the Fox Say was a song produced. The music video that became popular was done for their comedy variety TV show, but people didn't. People just thought it was a weird music video. But no, they're a comedy group. It was a comedy song. Because the fox says like a weird noise. Um, yeah, it had a lot of legs for a joke. That's the thing when you go international, is that sometimes people don't know that you're in on the joke. Um, like Gangnam Style, Psy is a fantastic producer of music. Do not get me wrong, but Gangnam Style is a parody of the kinds of people in a particular part of Korea. It is satire, um, but people were just like, "Oh, this dude is just doing just being cool." But it's like it is fun, but also it is poking fun at people. But you don't know that it's an international thing. But hey, Lashbrook, welcome. So that's besides the point. Tonight we're going to play Hearthstone. But first, once we get a few more folks joining us, we are going to watch this. It's on my YouTube. I'll put a link in the show description on the YouTube archive. Uh, Lashbrook says no spoilers, but AEW has been amazing so far. That is great to hear. I did hear the outcome of one match. That's fine. We won't talk about it tonight because it is airing as of right now. And I did not watch all of the beginning of it anyway. Ooh, we just had sorry, I just dropped some frames there, but hopefully everything is going to be cool. And I apologize for the hiccup. Hopefully everything will work out just fine tonight. But yeah, I am excited to show this clip for all of you. Let me set the stage here. 10 years ago, Jimmy Fallon hosted the late night show. He didn't host the Tonight Show. He hosted the show that now Seth Meyers hosts. I auditioned for a thing to do a background work for a thing a while before I booked this. But at the time, there was a writer that knew me. A writer Unfound knew me from UCB and comedy stuff. And so when they wrote this bit, they said, "Hey, I know a guy," and then somebody said, "Oh yeah, I know that person," and somebody else on the staff knew that me, including Arthur, who was a guy that he was a go-to guy. Basically, if you ever see a page on an NBC show, um, those are actors. They're not real NBC pages. They're not always writing staff. They're usually just people that they know and like. And so Arthur plays the page in this bit, but which was great because I knew him very well. So I got asked to do this bit. Jimmy Fallon still does game show stuff. Obviously, he doesn't do it without an audience as much. But when he had an audience, one of his big things was to do games with the audience. And not every game involved actors. It usually just involved audience members, but this one did involve an actor, so I got called in for it. And it was a fun bit of business that we shot. And I did not realize until, like I said, right before the stream started, that I had hit 10 years since I got to do that. Now, so this the video quality is poor. I found a torrent of it that was not an HD torrent of it years ago and made this clip of that. Finding clips of late night TV shows, weekly shows, or daily shows are very difficult because not everyone archives them at a high quality. So really what I would need is to have an archivist at NBC find this clip for me and send it to me, which I have been unable to do because I do not know any archivists at NBC. But I have made, every couple of years, I talk to who I know at NBC to see if somebody I know knows somebody who can get me this footage. Recently, a friend of mine joined the Tonight Show staff, and I have put feelers out again to see if I can get a high-quality copy of this. So, unfortunately, we do have a low-quality copy. That's just where we're at. But without any more preamble, let's watch this clip. I'm going to turn my sound here up a little bit. This is a bit called Lick It for 10, which was an ongoing, reoccurring segment on the show where audience members licked things. And we'll take it away from there. Let's make sure that this actually looks all right. Yep, there it is. This is just right off my YouTube. So, because I know where the file is, but I don't have access to it right in the moment. So, let's just watch Lick It for 10 with Jeff the Nerd.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no guesses.
Yeah, no guesses. No Very good. Higgins, what will contestant number 2 be licking tonight?
Well, Jimmy, she'll be licking this very rare issue of Superman comic. Sealed in cellophane. It's a mint-condition copy of Superman number 3. Its original price in 1940 was 10 cents, but today it's worth $2,500. Give it a good lick for $10, but be careful, or its owner, Jeff, will be very upset.
Styled my hair, Pat with hair, wearing sunglasses with the lenses removed so that I look extra unhappy, or extra nerdy, I guess.
Okay. Again, you have to lick the comic book. Don't lick Jeff.
No.
Or you don't get the 10. Sorry, it's just a joke, Jeff. Have you ever licked an expensive comic book before?
No, I have not.
You cool with this, Jeff?
Yeah.
There's me almost cracking, almost breaking. Because Jimmy Fallon wasn't supposed to talk to me.
Yes.
I'm not supposed to have lines. And then there's me not liking it. This is my contribution to it. Shaking my head, not liking what's happening. So we can see this clip, because they were always going to do it in slow motion. And me shaking my head means that I'm shaking my head in slow motion. That was my choice, because I knew that was funnier.
Here's your $10.
Yeah, she got $10 for licking
Come on over, pal.
that. And that's it. That's the clip. That's the clip. Oh, go back over here. You can see all my the various things that I'm watching. You may be tell there for a brief moment. I'm watching some Game Grumps stuff. Have you done anything with the acting career you had? So, Zeno, my acting career has been unfortunately pretty limited. I've done a bunch of auditions, lots of auditions over the many years that I lived in New York. But I was mostly behind the scenes. My day job for a very long time was working tech at various comedy theaters. But I have a few credits to my name, that being one of them, being on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, which I now just say is Fallon. I have been in an episode of Difficult People, the last season of Difficult People, the first episode of the last season. And I have been in an episode of Broad City, where I also had lines. Now, the fun thing about that thing is, I got paid way more money because Jimmy Fallon talked to me and I said words. So my original payment, they had to pay me more. And I did get a thing saying, like, from the person that booked me going, hey, you didn't have lines in this, right? And I said, no, I didn't have any lines. I was just supposed to be upset. But Jimmy talked to me. And they're like, yeah, he does that. And I was like, yeah. And I got paid a good amount more money at the time because I went from background to under 5. And that was fucking awesome. But yeah, that was my network television debut. And then I got paid, I did the other bit on Fallon for What Does the Fox Say? And then I've done a little bit of TV. Of course, Difficult People is Hulu, not TV, although it has aired on some foreign markets on television, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so I have done a bit of television, not as much as I would like. I've done some independent films that I've never had a copy of. I've done some pilots for things. The best being an HBO pilot that unfortunately never got picked up. The pilot never aired, but we shot it, which was Jessica St. Clair, who you may know from Playing House and BFF, and Jason Mantzoukas, who you probably know best, as an actor. You've seen in a bunch of stuff, but you probably know him best from the How Did This Get Made podcast. Jason and Jessica wrote a pilot for a sitcom that I was a major, like a speaking minor role in. Jason's character belonged to a film group, like a group that were script writing group. And so I was in that group. So I was in the pilot. And if it had gotten picked up, I would be in not every episode, but some episodes. Oh God, that was very fun. That was a very fun pilot years ago. I don't even have a copy of that anymore, which is a shame. So the slow-mo replay of the licking is disturbing, but also the point of the pandemic, getting paid to lick random object is also uncomfortable. Yeah, now, Lashbrook, it feels very weird. At the time, it didn't feel that weird that she just licked, the plexiglass, covering of a comic book or Lexan or whatever that is. That was a cool watching story. Unfortunately, I must go for the night. Got a shower for work tomorrow. I hear you, Zito. Well, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for dropping the host. We are going to play some Hearthstone starting in a minute or two, but I did want to, as I said, I forgot. All right. Okay. Sorry. So, okay. Let's play some Hearthstone. I got to retweet the tweet out that we're going to play some Hearthstone, because we are going to play some Hearthstone. But yeah, I didn't remember that was the 10th anniversary, and that felt like a thing that I wanted to talk about, it being 10 years. That just felt like a big number. And yeah, I would love to track down an HD version of that, but every once in a while I look into some archives to see if I can find an HD version. My very first appearance, where you can barely see me, is archived because it was part of this group that was trying to the Guinness Book of World Records. You have to pay Guinness, and it's this whole thing. So there was a Universal World Record group, and they did bits on Fallon because they were New York based, and I'm in one of those. It's Drew Barrymore on roller skates putting pies in people's faces because she was promoting the Derby movie she was in. So I'm one of the many people that got pied in the face for that, but you can barely see me even in the clip, which is it's a weird thing to say. I've done odd things on television, and then I will say, just because I haven't said it out loud, shout outs to Fat Guy Stuck in Internet, my actual television debut. I am in the pilot episode of Fat Guy Stuck in Internet, which was not an after show, so I was not paid for my appearance. I did it as a favor, with the promise that I would be in another episode, and then they never did another episode in the real world because it was all inside the computer, because it's a big parody, or it's a big homage to a bunch of stuff, but it's inside the computer, and I was an office worker outside the computer, so they never shot outside again, and I never got to do it, even though I was promised. But yeah, I'm technically was in an Adult Swim show. One of the earliest live action Adult Swim shows. Before Tom Goes to the Mayor, which was kind of live action and kind of not. Back when it was that and the Land Before Time parody that nobody liked. Saul the Mole Men, or whatever it was called. But yeah, Fat Guy Stuck in the Internet is technically my television debut. But I am... that wasn't an after show, so I didn't get paid for it. But anyway, we're gonna play some Hearthstone. Now that I've gone on a weird tangent because it happened to be the 10th anniversary, and I had forgotten that that was a thing. All right, we're playing Hearthstone. Now, you may know this. Maybe you don't know this. Hearthstone's going to be upended pretty soon, like upheaved and like completely changed. Basically, some old cards are coming back to standard. A lot of standard cards are going to just wild. There's going to be big changes to a bunch of cards that are wild and standard. There'll be some new cards. There's going to be a new basic cards. A bunch of cards are changing. There's going to be a classic format, which will even like, so there'll be wild cards. Then there'll be cards as they used to be, because cards go through changes. So some of them will be locked into former changes, like mana cost or what they did. It's going to be this whole thing. There's also going to be another solo mode, and I don't care about those solo modes. Never have. But yeah, there's going to be some big changes. So before those changes happen, let's just play Hearthstone the way we want to play Hearthstone, which is with fun decks that don't win that often, but feel great even when you lose. And I have a couple decks I want to play tonight. We're going to start with Guardian Moon. Now, Guardian Moon it's meant to do two things. Ramp, using Overgrowth, using Breath of Dreams if you have a dragon in your hand, using Lightning Bloom or Innervate to get your overgrowths early, using Nature Studies to get another overgrowth, doing whatever you can in order to play Guardian Animals. Guardian Animals summons 2 beasts that cost 5 or less from your deck. All our beasts in our deck are that. So we got Guardian Animals to pull Moonfang, which can only take 1 damage at a time, so that's great with Rush. Lake Thresher, which does damage to both minions. And Twilight Runner, which draws cards. Those are the only beasts in our deck. We have some dragons to make our lightning, our Breath of Dreams work. Dreaming Drake, which is an okay 3-drop, but a great corrupted 3-drop, where it's suddenly a 5/6 with Taunt. We also have Strongman, because if we're playing Guardian Animals, that costs 0, or if we play Ysera or Survival of the Fittest, that costs 0. We have Overflow to help draw some cards and give us some health. Also, Overflow is great when we have Ysera. Ysera Unleashed, which shovels 7 Dream Portals in her deck, and when they're drawn, they summon a random dragon. And then also Animated Broomstick is great with that. Animated Broomstick is great with a lot of things, just giving minions rush. Anubis Defender is it's pretty good 5-drop, but a great 0-drop. And that's the deck. It's not great, but it's pretty okay. And also, I don't have a lot of standard decks, so it's nice to have that. Now, our wild decks, I've shown Clown Paladin before. Clown Paladin, you want to get Prismatic Lens, and then you want to draw Carnival Clown and make that 9 cost 0 or 1 mana. And then corrupt it, and then fill your board, hopefully buffing it. And then at the top end, I actually got this out of a pack pretty recently. We've got Yogg-Saron. We need a 10-drop to activate our 9-drops if we draw them, which we don't want to do, but we might. Also, if we cast 10 spells, we will spin the wheel of Yogg-Saron and do something. And it's just a nonsense card. It's a good top end. Also, there are a lot of spells in this deck, so we hit that pretty fast. And if we pull that and it only costs 1, we often can play that usually around turn 8 or even turn 7 I've done once. Through a lot of 0-cost mana spells. And then the other deck we have is terrible. This is a terrible wild deck, but we're early enough in the month that we can maybe get this to work. Here's what we need to do. It costs this is a OTK deck that costs 8 mana to pull off the OTK. We are going to play. Sorry, I'm going to find the right cards. Yes. Okay, that's the second one here. Yes. We're going to play Unlicensed Apothecary. When you summon a minion, you deal 5 damage to your hero. Well, that's not We don't want to do that. We want our opponent to do that. So then we play Treachery, which is you choose a friendly minion and you give it to your opponent. Now they have that. And then we play Mad Summoner, which fills each player's board with 1/1 imps. Hopefully they will. We've gotten their health low enough that we can only need to summon a few imps and we can kill their board and kill them on OTK. Now we make that cheaper by playing Free Admission, which reduces the cost of each of these by 2, making it cost 8 mana. The alternative, I love silly combos, says Bobby. Hi, Bobby. Yeah, it's pretty silly. The alternative is, if that doesn't work, we can make them cost less with Dark Portal. It's actually cheaper with Dark Portal, but harder to pull off with Dark Portal. And then we also have Plot Twist to reshuffle. We have Sphere of Sapience to not draw them by mistake. This deck is terrible. This is a terrible OTK. I don't want to... I love playing it. Winning with it feels very good. Losing with it feels fine because it's terrible. And then we have our Evolve Wild and our Grand Spike deck, which is still fun to play. And these are Hero Power and Draw are just to get our quests done. Because there's a use your Hero Power a certain number of times. There's draw a certain number of cards. Clown Paladin helps us hit our Corrupted. So yeah, I have a couple decks that just exist in order to get when the journal has weekly quests. It's easier that way. But we don't have any quests tonight, so let's start with Guardian Moon, because that is a standard deck. We are very low ranked, as you can see. You might be able to see. But we're just going to see how we do. If you have any questions about Hearthstone, anything in general you want to talk about, whatever, you can feel free to talk about it. We're just hanging out. Obviously, I should say, this is not the biggest draw of anything I do here, Hearthstone, on my Wednesday bonus streams, certainly. But, oh boy, is this so much easier than a cooking stream. The amount of prep I had to do was make sure my camera was on and then, like, move a thing around for my display. So we don't want any of these things. We want Overgrowth. We want Breath of Dreams. We really want Guardian Animals. We won't mulligan a Guardian Animals. But yeah, this is so much easier than just anything else. Okay, so this is pretty good. This is okay to have. This isn't great. Our hand is not good. If we get Overgrowth, we can always Lightning Bloom, which gives us 2 mana crystals. All right, our opponent's stealing stuff. We got Breath of Dreams. Now, we don't have, unfortunately, we won't gain a mana crystal, but we will draw a card. So we will play that to draw a card. Nature Studies isn't bad. We're not going to Lightning Bloom just to Nature Studies, but hopefully we can Nature Studies into something that will help us. To get a little real, it's been real interesting seeing who thinks I should fuck off and die this week simply because my governor is an idiot. Lashbrook, yeah, obviously, that fucking sucks. We got our guardian animals, and we haven't drawn any beasts yet, so that's good. We're going to hit Wild Growth because it's going to cost us 2, so at least we get some mana. But yeah, Lashbrook, I said this like a couple weeks ago, when you had your cold snap, that people need to figure out who they're following on Twitter, because I'm not seeing anybody talking about how people from Texas deserve this. Unfortunately, okay, so next turn we can play Lightning Bloom and we can play Guardian Animals, so let's just stall a little bit. We're just going to stall a little bit. Because I also don't know what that is. But I'm starting to see that now. And, you know, the response to your governor opening up your state was some real sad, evil shit. And I'm sorry. It's unexcusable garbage. All right. That's actually better. Sure. That's not a taunt anymore, so why would you play that card? Whatever. All right, we're going to play Lightning Bloom. Then we're going to play Guardian Animals. What's up? Hell yeah. We also corrupted that card, so it's even better. We can draw some cards. We're going to hit that with that. We want to hit this here because it's only going to take 1 damage. As you can see, that's the whole point of Moonfang. This deck almost makes Moonfang good. Moonfang is not a good card, but it almost makes it good. And then we drew some stuff. We can get that corrupted pretty easily there. We will only have 5 mana next turn. Uh-oh. You can't. That's not how that works. Sorry. You did 1 damage to it. It's Moonfang. All right. So we will be able to play that next turn. We can. I mean, I want to put a taunt in front of this. Actually, we'll make that. Ooh, I like that. I do like that. We'll just give myself some extra mana. Later. We don't really need it, but we'll do that. Okay, what's that going to be? Okay, you got a poison thing. That sucks. But what we can do is we can say goodbye to this. All right, and we can do that. Got our lightning bloom, and we can just do that. Save that, and now we are protecting. All right, well, we didn't protect it, unfortunately. We didn't know what secret that was. We could have played around it. We didn't, but I think that's, it's going to be all right. But yes, Lastbrook, that does suck, and I am sorry. All right. Okay, so now we have 8 mana. This is going to cost 7, which is great. Now, here's the thing. We're playing this into an empty board, which I don't like. So I don't want to play this into an empty board, but we also did just pull a Lake Thresher, which only gives us 2 more cards in there. So we are going to play it, even though... And you drew 2 cards. That's fine. We are going to play it just because if either of these gets drawn, and then we're going to do this and do that. If either of these got drawn, it makes the next really bad. So we're not going to worry about that. Hey, Zero, welcome. It's going good. I fed some fish today. I am doing that for this week, helping out a neighbor who are close with my parents. So that was kind of fun. We're playing Hearthstone. We're playing, yes, fish. We're playing standard Hearthstone here, which I still play quite a bit. But yeah, this is the Wednesday bonus stream. We do something different on Wednesday. And tonight it's Hearthstone. And then, yeah, fed some fish, looked at them. There are some hermit crabs that I feed every other day. So tomorrow I will be feeding some hermit crabs. Aw, silencing it. Boo. Boo. Wait, also they conceded. Great, we won. We did it. We won our first game of Hearthstone for the night. Hearthstone can be hard. Here's the thing about Hearthstone. They just keep, almost every expansion, they add more keywords. And then they retire keywords. But Wild, they still exist. So Inspire is still a thing. In 2021, it's hard to be like, okay, so there's Inspire, then there's Corrupted, there's Battle Cries, there's Death Rattles, there are End of Turn effects, there are, well, if it's in your deck, it does a thing. There are cards that only work if you have singletons, you don't have duplicates in your deck. There are so many, there's Charge and Rush and Stealth, and some of those make a lot of sense, and others don't make much sense, and it's a lot of keywords. But it's also fun, and I've been playing it for a long time, so for me it's like, okay. I know, right? Well, sorry, Zero. Alright, since we won with that deck, let's switch to Wild. Now, the simplest terms I can say is, there's a rotation of cards. Standard is some classic cards that anybody can get, you get from playing the single-player stuff, and new expansions for a year. Wild is every card they ever made, including standard cards, because there are cards that are old and don't work in standard anymore. But Wild, well, it's Wild. So anything goes. I like Wild because I like playing weird decks, because sometimes they make cool cards that come out. And those cool cards interact with cards that came out like 5 years ago when the game started. and it's unintended combinations of cards, and I really like that. So, like, the deck we're going to play right now, which is an OTK, which I'm usually not a big fan of, but this OTK shouldn't work. It doesn't work in Standard. You have to play it in Wild. Same thing with my Clown deck. Corrupted cards weren't a thing when Prismatic Lens was made. So it's this interaction that doesn't happen in Standard, only happens in Wild. So, we got one card that we want. Here's the thing, which sucks about this. We can't mulligan anything. We can't send anything back because we need to keep both our minions in our deck. So we are hoping that we can, on turn 2, yes, Zero, we are fighting actual people. This person who's playing Warlock is a real person somewhere playing on the North American server. So we have to hope that we have two draws before we can play this on turn 2. And we have to hope that neither draw is one of our demons. And then we have to hope that before turn 8, we draw the one spell card we need out of our deck. This deck is an OTK that is hard to pull off. Now, we do have the advantage of our opponent should be low health because health is... we got Dark Portal as a backup, which we don't need because we can do this. So now we are pulling 2 cards out of our deck and lowering its cost. So now instead of this costing 6 and this costing 3, this costs 4 and this costs 1, which is cool. So, Zero, it's luck of the draw, and then it's skill of what you do with the cards you get, right? So now we are at the point where we have to damage our opponent. Health. We want to lower their health so our combo is easier to pull off. And we have to pull out Treachery. We have 2 Treachery in our deck. So next turn, we're definitely going to try to draw. But this turn, we can clear the board. We can clear our opponent's board. Thus, our opponent can't attack our face. Yes, the heart of the cards is important. Because, yes, we have to do 2 things. We have to damage our opponent some, because at most this deck does 30 damage, but our opponent will probably have cards to play. And we need to find this mythical card. We can maybe make it exist, which with Twisted Knowledge, but we're going to draw here. We did not find the card we need. So let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. We can't play that card yet. We have to play some cards to then eventually discover, because maybe, this is the nice thing about having this card in the deck, discover 2 Warlock cards. Maybe we'll get the card we need from that. Possible. Our opponent is also trying to draw cards for whatever they're doing. But they're taking damage in order to try to do it. They're getting through their deck faster. Now, we could be playing against a Mechthun deck, which would be bad for us, because we have to be faster than that. But where our opponent needs to just get rid of every card in their deck, and then they just win. That one's a fun one, but all right, we're gonna play that. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay, we can't draw here, but we'll play that. So we are now hunting for a card. We just need a card. We didn't do damage to our opponent that turn, but we did put in some cards that will heal us a little bit. Which helps a little bit, the soul fragments. Alright, yeah, our opponent is definitely drawing for things. And our opponent has a lot of, like, ways to kill stuff on our board, but we're not going to be playing any minions, so it's fine. The only thing we might do is we might discover cards and then play them. Yeah, our opponent now is just trying to get through their deck. You do want more cards, but you don't want to overdraw, because if we have 10 is the limit, and so if this is the most cards you can have in your hands, there's a card to get around that, but we don't have that card because it's a minion. So we do want cards, but what we don't want to do is burn one of the 2 cards we need from our deck. So we are going to be picking something that I can at least play here. And yeah, we'll play that. Yeah, see, I couldn't even play that card. The other problem is that if I play this, it will... So we're actually going to have to play this. So that we're back to 9 cards. But this is a card we can just play because it discovers a card. So that wasn't going to help us. We need to empty our hand some. We're still trying to draw, trying to get the card we need to pull off our combo before our opponent can pull off their combo. But we don't want to destroy one of our 2 cards. Once we get it, it won't matter. Yeah, our opponent is going through their deck. They have very few cards left. Ooh, okay, so now they're up to 24 health. Or 22 health, because they got armor. We got the card, Treachery. This is the card we need. So now, we don't need any other cards. Next turn, if our opponent does not, as long as our opponent doesn't fill the board, we could win. So we'll just do this to lower their health some, and as long as our opponent doesn't OTK us right now, we win. Because we have this ridiculously annoying combo. So we can play that combo next turn. Because we'll have enough mana to do it. And let's just see if our opponent... Oh, that's a good sign. Yeah, we did it. We're going to win next turn. Because our opponent, does not have the mana to do it. I don't think. Maybe they do. They got a lot of cards in their hand, though.
I'm running low on cards.
Okay. Drew 1. All right, so we should win right now. I'll show you this OTK. We play a pocket, play him, and now we are going to say, actually, you know what? You get this guy. You have him. And then we play this card, which fills their board with 1/1 imps, and they take 5 damage every time an imp shows up. And we win with the OTK. And they say, well played. And it keeps going, too, which is very... this is overkill. That's not my choice. They're overkill there. Negative 15 health. 1 turn kill, indeed. An OTK. Oh, yes, so OTK. 1 turn kill. That is what that means. Now, is this technically a 1 turn kill because we did damage sporadically? Well, it's burst damage that won there, right? Yeah, it's a combo. It's, like I said, it's not cool to do. Also, it's really hard. The fact that we managed to pull it off was because our opponent was playing... If our opponent was playing an aggro deck, we would have lost. But our opponent wasn't playing an aggro deck. I don't think I'm going to play that deck ever again tonight because it's so hard to get a win in it that I just can't imagine I'll get another one. So let's play another deck that's maybe more fair than that. Yeah, Bobby says, I wonder what they were going for there. That was a lot of churn. So I feel like that was a Mechathune deck. That was a deck where their plan was to empty their deck and then destroy their hand after they played. So my assumption is that they were going to play that 7-cost card that swaps a minion on your board with a minion in your hand. Because that's a new card that people are playing. Ooh, oh, this is a perfect hand here. That is a new card that people have been playing. So my assumption is that it was that kind of deck where they were going to lower the cost of a spell, lower the cost of their hand, and then do that. But we won before they could. Yeah, no, I definitely feel like they were going for a Mechathune OTK. Let's see. What do we want to do here? We'll just say greetings. Let's play this. Let's just get it. What we got here? What do we got for a spell here? Eye for an eye. That's not great at this point. Okay, so on turn 4, we're going to play Prismatic Lens. We want to draw one of our Carnival Clowns for that, and then have it cost 1 or 0. Hopefully not cost 4. And then we're... Come on. This was a card we did not want to draw from our deck. But we did. It's fine. It's fine. Let's get another... Getaway Kodo's okay. And we'll do Righteous Cause. That was not what we wanted. We did not want to draw this. We could pull Yogg-Saron, and that's fine, because then we can play Yogg-Saron even faster. And that's totally cool. This deck does have some mild win conditions. You can always play this on turn 9 or play Yogg-Saron to corrupt this. But we're going to corrupt this, which fills the board with copies of it. Let's see. What do I want to do here? Let's do this. I know this will die, and we'll get another getaway Kodo, but that's okay. And we'll just buff this. So now, once we corrupt this, we will fill a board with 5/5s. And now we're going to get a 1/1, which is fine. That's okay. But yeah, this deck, when it works, we overwhelm our opponent. It's hard to make it work, but we can. All right. Unfortunately, that was one of our 0 costs, which means, all right, let's see. 50-50 of this working intended or having something kind of cool that we can do later. Okay, as intended. Oh, even better. So now, next turn, we can play this 1/1. We can play this 1/1 next turn, which will make this cost, which will make this corrupted. And so it will fill the board with copies of it. And then we have this for late game, which we can play on turn 9 and just have 3 of them. Or we can play Yogg-Saron if we can get to the late game. Which, since our opponent's not doing much, shouldn't be too hard. Okay, Never Surrender is great here. Play this. Now, because our opponent doesn't have many cards, I'm going to be very greedy. This is incredibly greedy of me. I should play this now. I should have played this now and just had 6 of them. But instead, because our opponent doesn't have many cards playing, I am going to try to clear my board so I can get 7 of these and then trip this, which will make them 5/5s. This is a greedy play that I'm doing right now. Also, maybe there's one of my other hand buff cards will come out and I can make this even bigger. But yes, this is an incredibly greedy play that I am doing right now. Which is okay, because sometimes greedy is fine. Also, by playing odd, goofy decks, not odd, weird little decks like this, I give myself a way out. Because I look at it as this. If I lose with decks like this, fine, I played a weird deck. If I win with decks like this, cool, I won with a weird deck. When I play net decks, which is the best decks in the game, the ones that have 60% win rate, which is like great for Hearthstone. When I play those decks and lose, that's because I'm not a great Hearthstone player. All right, so we're going to play this first because maybe we'll get... Oh My Yogg is great. And Artificial Matrix isn't as good, but whatever. All right, now we're going to do this. So when I play weird decks, it's just like, oh, I lost with a weird deck. Okay. I lost to Res Priest or Secret Mage. Big deal. And now, look at this. Look at this big board. What's our opponent? Look at our big nonsense board that we have. Big swings. But also, sometimes I play this deck, and both prismatic lenses are at the bottom of the deck, and I never draw them. And I'm just struggling to stay alive, hoping I can draw them, and I never do. Or yeah, nope, sorry, I have Oh My Yogg, so that isn't going to work. That's now Shield Slam. And then also, I have Never Surrender. We're watching the best... Literally, we just watched the best case scenario for all 3 decks that I'm playing tonight. Okay, well that sucks. What is our... I mean, I was literally saying best case scenario, and then our opponent played fucking Shrink Ray. Our opponent had Shrink Ray. What a... I mean, is it a good counter to my deck? Yes, it is. Is my deck good? No, it is not. This is a counter to very few decks. I've been playing this deck for quite some time, and I can't tell you the last time, if ever, I ran into Shrink Ray. So, you know, I was saying I was really confident. I should still say, this deck is still working as intended. Oh, you got that 10 mana. Okay. Well, you just gave me some more mana, which is nice of you. Now, here's what's cool. We got Getaway Kodo. When one of these dies, our opponent kills one of these, because they're immune. So, like, we can't attack that. We can only attack into that, which we don't really want to do. But when our opponent kills one of them, we will get it back. It'll be a 9 cost, and it will still be corrupted. So, we could kill this, and I think we will. We'll take the damage because we can heal ourselves. So, we're going to take the damage to get an 8/8 off the board. We're going to do that. 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 We're actually going to do this because now we're going to do the other thing we can do, which is make a bunch of 7/7s, because our opponent is not expecting this move. A bunch of 7/7s. Now, if our opponent kills this before they kill this, we don't get a corrupted one back, but we still get a 4/4 back, which is good. We're hoping that our opponent kills this 1/1, which will then give us, there'll be 4/4s, but it'll fill the board.
Let the pain speak to me.
All right. Okay. They had a second Shrink Ray. They had a second. All right, we're getting a free Yogg-Saron. Or, well, a cheap Yogg-Saron. Yep, we're getting a 1-cost Yogg-Saron. That is activated. So, let's kill that. We 100% should not be doing this. We're going to play Yogg-Saron. There's no good reason to play Yogg-Saron. We also didn't need to kill that minion before we did it, because there is one of these moves is that. What do we got? Hey, we got a bunch of 0-cost spells. They're only 0 cost right now. We don't do that. We don't want to do that. We'll play that, which doesn't do anything. Which gives us an imp. We'll just play that. Secret. We'll play that. We don't need to play that. Give a beast in your hand that. We'll play that. Just get it out of the hands. There we go. We got a bunch of spells. Now they're not free anymore, but we do have some damage. We can do damage to a minion. We can do damage to some minions. We can get some rush abilities here. We can draw some cards. We have no minions left in our deck, but we can draw some cards. And again, if one of these dies, we get it back. If they kill Yogg, we get Yogg back. Oh, they're going. All right. Can you put another? Haha! You didn't kill it. Auto defense matrix. We live to play again. And also no healing, because they didn't kill it.
Mind if I roll knee?
They didn't expect auto defense matrix. That's what I'm saying. This deck is nonsense.
The battle. For justice.
And then we top deck lead. What I'm saying is, this deck is not good, but when it works, it's very fun. And when it doesn't work, it's still a weird deck. And that's very much about how I play. Now, have we won 3 games in a row? Yes. Are we due for a long streak of me getting very salty? 100%. We're looking at this taking a turn for the worst any moment now, which is fine. I'm just prepping you for that. I'm always prepping y'all for the salt, because the salt is always incoming, because it's Hearthstone. Because the thing that we write in chat a lot when I play is, that's Hearthstone, where someone top decks lethal, or they discover a random secret that totally ruins what you were going to do, or anything like that. That's Hearthstone. All right, we have to full mulligan because all we care about is prismatic lens. So we got a full mulligan. Take the risk that we might pull a clown. We didn't. The only time we don't full mulligan looking for Prismatic Lens is if we have Oh My Yogg, because Oh My Yogg, if we play that first, Oh My Yogg can fuck with our opponent because it can make their quest not a quest, and that makes them very sad. That is why Hearthstone can be a lot more fun to watch than play. Yes. Oh, Hearthstone is pretty damn fun to watch. Especially like wild streamers, because like obviously I'm not a wild streamer. I'm not consistent. I stream wild, but I'm not consistent. But like people like Raffle, ooh, we got it. And Mark, I forget his last name. Let's play this. There are folks out there that play on Twitch, and they do lots of weird wild decks. Get Meowth. There's a few of them out there, and they play really silly, interesting decks, and they're also very good at Hearthstone, which helps. Let's see. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain. Oh, all right. Well, let's gain some armor. Oh, let's gain some armor, and also we're gonna play Getaway Kodo, because that way we get this back and we get even more armor. We can live even longer to turn 4. That's kind of fun. We didn't need that, but we can play that next turn. But yeah, theoretically our opponent's going to want to kill that. Also, I would like to put threats on the board, because we're playing a class that has cards that devolve your cards into less powerful cards, and I'd rather put some targets out there for our opponent, so that our opponent doesn't kill our clowns later, because that's bad. Come on, Ash. I mean, I'll take a hollow victory, folks. I will take a timed out victory, but I would rather win, especially because we're streaming. Good time to drink a little water. Hey, drink a little water. Okay, all right. Our opponent's played a card. Damn it! This is one of two. This is the 2 cards I don't want to pull out of my deck, and that's one of the 2. Because we have this, so that sucks. So we're just gonna go face. We'll get one of these back with Getaway Kodo. The hope is that next turn we don't draw the other Carnival Clown, so this can work. It also makes it a 50-50. If we draw Yogg-Saron and it only costs 1, that's fine, because that can do some silly things. I mean, Yogg-Saron is not a good card in this deck. Another 10-drop will be better, but Yogg-Saron is fun because it does one of many different things, and one of the things that it can do is, steal cards from your opponent, give you a bunch of free cards, fill your board with minions. Our opponent is playing a totem deck. They're doing fun totem things. And they went for that one. That's kind of interesting. They went for that one instead of this one. Okay. Well, alright. Our opponent's going to do lots of nonsense things, and we're not going to be able to keep up with it as much. But yeah, we made him pay a little bit. So we got Yogg-Saron. We have to cast 6 more spells, and then Yogg-Saron will do a bunch of things that are nightmares. We still have 1 more chance to pull a clown. I don't think we're going to be able to. I don't think we're going to live long enough to be able to do it. Because our opponent is just going to keep doing cool totem things, because they drew the nuts for their deck. They drew exactly what they needed to make their deck work. They're going to continue to buff, because we have weakening spells, but we don't have removal spells, and we need to kill that. And then this is just getting bigger. So we are in trouble. I basically just need to play a bunch of spells and then hope that Yogg-Saron turns the tables. Okay, yep. Okay, are you just going to go face? You're going to clear? What are you going to do? What you going to do? Okay. You're going to clear. All right. So, let's see. We could swing. That's not going to help us. Let's just do that. Let's do Wave of Apathy. And we still need to cast 5 more spells. So, we are in trouble as far as having spells. You can buff these. Doesn't help us much, but it's something. Yeah, we'll just go there. Probably could have swung into that. Yeah. But yeah, so basically we want to play more spells and hope that we can, you know. Oh boy. Yeah, our opponent just has. Our opponent's not playing a. Believe me when I say, despite what it looks right now, our opponent's not playing a good deck. They're just getting very good draws for their deck, and also the going to just cause a lot more damage next turn. Yeah. Oof. We just don't have removal. Just don't have it. Really need removal. We can kill one thing. We don't have enough spells to. Yeah, we're just gonna concede. See, our deck kind of did what it was supposed to do, but our opponent was playing a deck that we couldn't keep up with, and we had our first loss of the night, and that's okay. Let's switch back to standard, and we're gonna play Guardian Moon again. Guardian Moon is probably the most normal-ass deck that I play, in that it only has one thing that it wants to do, and otherwise it just has some pretty okay cards. And like I said, it also uses Moon, which is a bad card. It uses a card. Moonfang is a bad card, but I like having a deck that uses Moonfang because it's kind of neat. We're playing a Druid. Most likely they are another form of ramp. I doubt that they are the exact same deck that we are playing, but it's possible. We're going to keep Lightning Bloom because it's just a very good card to cheat our mana. We'll play that. We did get Guardian Animals, which we want. Unfortunately, we also got Moonfang, which we didn't want to draw. We now have 4 beasts in our deck to play on that, so we want to try to cheat out our mana faster. So we'll play this. None of these get us more mana. So we're going to play the cheapest one, because at least we will have a bunch of spells. So we'll just call it there. If we can pull a different spell, that'd be good. Okay, our opponent might be playing the same deck we're playing right now, because that is a card we also have. They could be playing a dragon deck. Dragon Druid is technically a thing. But right now they have just played a card that is in our deck. And so we might be this might be a mirror match. I think this is a mirror match. Now that's kind of funny because I usually don't play cards that you see in the mirror ever. So that's kind of fun. Okay, so if I play one of these, this will then cost 5 because play that. That gives us to 5. So then we can play that, so we'll play that. And then this to at least give us something. Now we have some minions on the board. We will only have 2 mana next turn, but we can get up to 4 if we need it. Yep. Our opponent is playing our deck. This is exactly our deck. This is the mirror match. We are playing the mirror match right now. It's just unfortunately our opponent is playing it better than we are, and we have 0 recourse. Because if we had 4, we could get to 6, 7, 8. We could respond if we hadn't used Lightning Bloom last turn. We could have Lightning Bloomed now. We could get a minion on the board, but we're just gonna concede. So that might be the first time I've ever done a mirror match on stream, where our opponent was playing. Now, there could be variations. They could not have Ysera. They could have something instead of a different top end. But yeah, we just lost to our deck. So we'll run it back and see how we can do. Certainly not what I was looking forward to, but you know, not what I was looking to hit, but it happens. Let's go. We'll wait for this to load. I want to just check out a thing real quick.
Malfurion versus Arthas.
All right, 1 second.
I must protect.
All right. Ooh, this isn't bad to have. We're going to full mulligan, though. Now, at least we're not playing the mirror match there, so that's good. You got the bottom heart of the card, better heart of the cards. Yes. Yes, I did not have the heart of the cards. We got both our dragons, which means if we draw Breath of Dreams, we will gain some mana when we draw, and that'd be nice. We didn't. Now, if we play this, we can corrupt it. Right now, we're not getting what we need for this, which is a shame.
Reporting for duty.
Okay, well, we don't have anything we can really do here. Since we have 2 Drakes, we're just going to play one. It's not corrupted, but it is a 3/4 with taunt, and our opponent's not doing that much, so let's just do that.
A good explorer comes prepared.
All right. Let's do this. Let's coin out. We still have a taunt, so let's coin that out. And now we've corrupted that, so that's going to be even better. And we're doing what we're doing. Not what our deck isn't designed to do this per se, which is just be mana efficient and do some cool shit. So we're just doing that, which is not, like I said. Okay, yeah, our opponent's got some Librams. Oh, they had a Libram. Okay. Put it on that. All right. Yeah, so our deck isn't meant to do what we're doing right now, which is just be a pretty okay deck. Like a pretty good mid-range deck. We're supposed to make big swings with this deck. So hopefully we'll still be able to make those big swings. But even if we get to turn 8 and use a Lightning Bloom to use Survival of the Fittest, like, we'll still do okay. Like, we can still do some cool stuff. We got Innervate. So now we can do a 7 thing here. We can Innervate into restoring health and drawing a bunch of cards. If we do that, we will draw 5 cards. So we will have 8 cards, but that will be free. So let's do that. Should I do... Yeah, let's do this first. And that. So that when we do this, we restore our health for our many minions. We fill our hand. We get our overgrowths, which is okay. Our nature study, which is all right. We're closer to maybe getting guardian animals. We didn't draw any beasts. And then we'll play this here. And that was a pretty great turn. That's kind of the big swing turns we're looking for with this deck. We got a good board. We got, like I said, we didn't draw. We can jump mana next turn. We can rush a minion. We can play nature studies, trying to find some stuff. Okay, that's a good draw. You can't do that. Hey, it's Ysera. Oh, what's up, Ysera? Good to see you. Let's just do that. Let's get to 9 mana. Now we're 10 mana next turn, which is very good for us. Let's do this. We could have started with that. Oh, yeah, so if we started that, we could have gotten Lightning Bloom. But that's okay. We'll take Wrath. We can't use Wrath because we can't target this. But we're just going to hit you in the face a bunch. Then next turn we can play Survival of the Fittest and Strongman for free, which is a great turn. We have Ysera to throw some more stuff in our board, which is very good. We can also play Ysera and Animated Broomstick if we're feeling like we need it. But I'd rather, if this board lives, I'd rather just make this board bigger. I think they could, right now, can only kill one minion, so... Okay, gonna make that 9/9. Alright, yeah. I think that's the best thing to do. Okay, get your Murlocs. Yeah, we can draw a card when then we have that. But yeah, I think this is the best thing to do, because we can also make this have Rush. So we're gonna hit that. This is now free, and it's a 10/10. And then we can do that. So we'll hit this first, because it'll only take 1 damage. Hit that second, leaving it with 1. Do 9 to face. And our deck continues to do big swings. Now our Ysera is big and beefy, which is fun. We can play Ysera next turn if we want to. And then we can, yeah, we got that. Okay, you did your other one. Cool, cool. We're still going to do basically the same thing. Cool, cool. We're going to do very similar to what we just did. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Hey, there's guardian animals. I think we... What do we get for guardian animals? We get Lake Thresher, and we get Twilight... Yeah, let's do that. Oh, they conceded. Okay. Hopefully they don't have double shrink ray. Yeah, Bobby. Luckily those are wild cards, but yes, also. Because yeah, we're in standard right now. And hey, look, we're slowly ranking up. I mean, we're at bottom tier because I don't play a lot of standard, but I like the standard deck. All right, we'll give this another run here.
Malfurion versus Lunara.
I just tweeted out the Jeff is a nerd thing because I had forgotten to do it. I didn't, like I said, I didn't even realize. All right, let's keep Breath of Dreams because this at least draws us a card. If we have a dragon in our hand, we will create a mana crystal, which would be nice. But at the very least, it does draw, which is good. This is okay. We now can gain a mana crystal, so we can coin this if we wanted to play it. We are playing a druid. It could be possible that we are playing the mirror again because I know this deck. This is not a net deck, but it is. We're doing it, aren't we? Nope, we're not. Okay, that's not in my deck. So this is not an exact mirror. Yeah, okay, our opponent's just doing an aggressive deck, which is fine. They can be aggressive. Oh, hey, what's up? Overgrowth is fun. Let's do this. Let's draw a card. We drew our guardian animals. And now we have 4 mana, or we'll have 3 mana next turn. So we can maybe play this and try to stop the bleeding a little bit because the goal is to get to guardian animals as fast as possible. Because guardian animals, we can then hopefully win back the board. Because our opponent is just going to be buffing things because they're an aggressive buff deck. Oh, although that turn they didn't really do anything, and that rules. Yeah, we're just going to play this as a 3/4. Not great, but it trades well and will slow our opponent down. The next turn we can play Overgrowth and get closer to being able to play Guardian Animals. Yeah. Our opponent's not going to run out of answers for a while here. And unfortunately, didn't, buff their minions. So we're going to take a lot of damage this turn. Should we wait a turn? Because we can at least kill one of them. All right, I think we're unfortunately going to have to wait a turn on Overgrowth because otherwise we're going to just take so much damage, which is a shame. So we'll play this. Discover a Druid minion. If your hand has no minions, keep all 3. Our hand will have minions, so that won't help us. We'll just grab an Innervate. It's always going to be free, but we'll just grab an Innervate because it does reduce the cost of things there. Oh, actually, Cool. We can actually do it this way. I didn't even think about that. Now we can play this, which gives us 6 mana. And we can play that, and we can play this, which at least takes 5 attack off the board. That's a big deal. We have mitigated the damage they can do somewhat. We have also, we now have 7 mana next turn. We can just play this if we don't get one of our Innervates or our Lightning Bloom. That's what we'd love. We would love to see Innervate or Lightning Bloom next turn to give us the ability to play Guardian Animals. We have 4 cards that we would love to see next turn. Because our opponent is just going to find new ways to do a lot of damage to us. We didn't get that card. We got Ysera. So we will mitigate the damage as best we can. Next turn, we can have a big swing. It probably isn't going to be enough. Maybe we'll get our other defender or our strongman. Wow. Yeah, our opponent just has answers to our shit. I mean, we knew they would. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we don't have health anymore. We don't really have health. Yeah, we're doing bad. Survival. Okay. So this has to be a Lake Thresher will clear the board. We need one of these 5 cards, possible 5 cards. 2 of them will be great for us. Guardian Animals, give us the card we need. Hey, what's up, Lake Thresher? That's exactly what we need.
Job's done.
Okay. That's a big swing. We still only have 6 health, but we cleared the board. Okay. Yeah. And our opponent is going to take the damage in order to clear that. We are certainly not out of the woods in that we only have 6 health, but we have turned the tide somewhat. There's another Twilight Runner. We are going to swing with this here. Okay, that is not what I'm looking for. But play that. And that's corrupted. And okay. We can play next turn Survival of the Fittest and Strongman next turn, which is a huge turn. So we get to do our big swings. We lucked out a lot here, and we're able to do our big swings. The fact that we were able to pull the Lake Thresher, I don't want to say it won us the game, but it's allowing us to survive. But we seem to be able to do 15 damage to our opponent here, so... Well, also, if our opponent doesn't clear, we just win with... Yeah, okay. So we don't even have to worry about that. We just win. So, that's cool. Do that. We just do that. So we survived. We beat a aggressive deck because there were a couple turns there where they didn't do as much as they could because we had taunts in the way to slow them down. We really lucked out and be able to use that broomstick to get rid of 5 damage off the board. I don't want to... how do I say this? Part of that was the luck of getting the Lake Thresher. 2 out of 5 beasts we needed there. We had 2 Lake Threshers in the hand, or the deck. But also, I think I played that pretty well. I will say, I'm going to go on record as saying, I think I played that pretty okay. Yeah, I feel okay about that win, because I think I did not bad about that. Let me just reply to a message here. We'll get another game going.
Malfurion versus Illidan.
It isn't over between us, brother. You have much to answer for.
Okay. Alright, we don't want any of these cards. Getting a lot of tweets here. These are great to have. This is okay. This is okay. Anything we put on this board, our opponent's going to be able to remove. They're also going to be able to do a lot of damage to our face, most likely. This is not good for us. We need to ramp very quickly and then turn the board like we did in the last game. We got our guardian animals. We need ramp because once we get to we can do stuff. But we probably won't have health. We might need to use some of this to just get a minion on the board, since we haven't ramped at all. This is a race against time, because our opponent's just going to have a board, and we don't have board clears. We have Lake Thresher. So playing Lake Thresher and giving it Rush isn't a win condition. Okay, so now we have 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Next turn, hi Xander, this is my first time seeing a Hearthstone stream. Can you explain? Okay, so we were playing Hearthstone. Every turn, you get more mana. Cards, the numbers on the top left are the cost of that mana, or the cost of cards. So, you can see these are outlined in green. That means we could play them this turn because they cost 0 or 1. There are so many different things that cards do. Some cards don't do anything. Like this card is just a 2/2. Now so it just 1 cost 2/2. This card does a thing on Battlecry. So when you play it, the Battlecry goes off and it does a thing. This card was summoned, so it doesn't have anything. There are magic cards, spell cards, and there are minions. Our opponent seems to be playing a deck mostly of minions. We're a spell-heavy deck, trying to make massive nonsense turns, like we were about to do right now. We are about to do a very big nonsense turn that will hopefully stabilize the game or possibly win the game. Okay, so I didn't notice last turn that our opponent played a spell. They played Mana Burn. So we don't have 4 mana, so we can't do the cool thing we were going to do here. We were going to do a very cool thing. We don't get to do that cool thing because our opponent played that. So we have 2 mana. We can have 4 mana, 5, and 6. That is not enough to do our fun thing. There is basically no way for us to... There are some other things we could do, but that's not going to win it. Like, we could ramp up enough to play this, but that's not going to do it. We just have to hope our opponent doesn't play that one card that really hurts us. We're going to take a lot of damage right now. But we could, theoretically, if we don't just lose right now, we're going to lose a lot of health, but we could turn the tide next turn and stabilize. It's going to be very difficult for us to do that. But we could do a cool thing. We're going to at least try to do a cool thing. Okay, so now we hit 6 mana, 8 mana, guardian animals. Okay. Play this. Free. Play this for 1. Gives everything rush. Go into that. We want to hit this. Get that out of here. We hit that. Kills both those. So let's hit that. Draw. Then hit that. So that is kind of what this deck is supposed to do. It's supposed to make big money moves. Big time plays. We had a very good turn there. Okay. Our opponent is going to do some damage to... Yeah. They're going to do some damage. But Oh, we're gonna take damage. Why would you do that? You don't have to do that. All right, let's draw. Play that. Moonfire. What up, Moonfire? That and that. Saving my health. Doing some damage. We can always play this next turn. If we get Lightning Bloom, we can play this next turn. Having a taunt will be great. Because then you have to attack the taunt, because it's taunting you. Alright, our opponent has now cleared a minion off our board. We can at least next turn play a 6/6. Oh, and we'll get that better, so that's good. Or we can play that and that. Do we want to... Is that better? Yeah, let's do that. And this. Let's play a 5/6, because next turn we can play this and this. This is a greedy play. Basically, I'm playing a deck that wants to ramp and do some nonsense. Our opponent's playing a deck that just wants to constantly do damage, just quick, easy damage, which is how we somehow have more. We somehow have more cards than they do, which is great. So we're actually gonna attack this, which our opponent's probably thinking, oh, they gave up their taunt, but we can play Ysera, which is gonna put a bunch of Dream Portals in our deck, which is great. But by playing Ysera, this is now corrupted and costs 0. So now we have a 6/6 taunt and a 4/12 on the board, and we can get healing, which will heal our opponent as well. But it also will draw, and you don't have enough. You don't have enough. I have lost many games to this card. Many, many games I have lost to this card, which ignores taunt. Now, will opponent concede? They will not concede. They might. They probably won't concede. Well, we'll just do this because it's fun to do this. This is the more fun play. Let's do this first. The chances were high that we were going to pull. Oh, that had taunt too. That we were going to pull some Dream Portals. So corruption, Bobby. To trigger corruption, you play a card that costs more than this. So if I play a 4-cost minion or a 4-cost spell, then this gets corrupted. All right. Well, we're going to do that. Get that out of there, and then we'll just do that, and we'll do that, and then we're going to play that. That cost 0, so it didn't corrupt it. But yeah, so corruption is, so if you have a 9-cost minion that corrupted does something, then you have to play a 10-cost to corrupt it. This card costs 0 if corrupted, so it's awesome late game. Our opponent just gonna do it. Cool. So yeah, our opponent had us. We managed to survive long enough to do our big swing, and then our big swing they couldn't come back from. They got very close. Believe me, obviously, they had that minion that has charge that ignores taunt. So they could have. Yeah, corruption is a new mechanic, and it is a fun one. Every once in a while, they put in mechanics like Reborn. I don't love Reborn because there are some cards that, like, basically Reborn is when it dies, it comes back with 1 health. So you have to kill a thing twice. I don't like Reborn. If there's Reborn Rush minions, it sucks. I'm not a big fan of that. But that was a fairly new. It was like 2 years ago they added that. But corruption is cool because it forces you to not play on curve, because on turn 3, if you have a 3-drop, a 3-cost mana cost card, strategically it might be better to not play that card on turn 3 so that you can play a 4-cost or a 5-cost in the future to make it do more cool stuff. Or do you want to just play it? It adds some strategery, which I really like. But yeah, this deck makes big swings, and I'm happy to see it.
Malfurion versus Anduin.
All right, we'll get back into playing some Hearthstone.
Protect
Yeah, I still play Magic, and they're pretty hit or miss with new mechanics. I don't play Hearthstone anymore, but I always like to see them add cool new mechanics. Yeah, I mean, you know, it keeps it fresh. So this is not a. If we had Breath of Dreams, we would keep Dream Drake. But since we don't have Breath of Dreams, Dreaming Drake, I should say, we just want our ramp. We want to ramp our mana up. Guardian Animals. Okay, all right, great. We got this. We got this. We can play Nature Studies, which allows us to play this on turn 3. Now, a reminder, your next spell costs 1 less. Playing the coin negates that, so you don't want to do this on turn 2. So turn 2, let's see, because that way we can save this for later. Let's pick Nourish. Nourish is good. All right, so next turn, we don't want to play a spell because we don't want to, because turn 3, we want to play Overgrowth, save our coin, and then we can put, we can play Nourish later. We're just going to swing into this to do a little damage to it because our opponent's going to be healed no matter what, so it doesn't matter to attack their face. We'll take 1 damage. Yeah, next turn we can play Overgrowth. We're just trying to get to mana to play Guardian Animal, so it'll cost 8 then because it's on. Because we definitely are going to play spells before that. But right now our opponent's not really doing anything, and that's great for us. Let's ramp up. We will have 6 mana next turn, which is great. Wow. And our opponent says, wow. If we get Innervate or Lightning Bloom next turn, we can Guardian Animals. Okay, well there's a big friend. Our opponent now has a big friend. We did not get that, so that's what we're gonna do. I love big ramp Druid decks. Yeah, I'm a fan of it. Hi, Asmo. Also, hello. So we're going to get more mana. So next turn, we can play Guardian Animals. Since we can already play Guardian Animals, we don't technically need a coin. So instead, because we played a 6-cost spell, we can coin, and our Dream Drake is now corrupted, and is now a 5/6. And look at us. We got board presence now. And next turn, we can swing the game with one of our Guardian Animals. We also have 5 beasts still in our deck. Well, I don't like that. I don't like that. That's rude. Luckily, we get a big swing turn here, but that's still rude. Also, this 4/7 is bad for what we're about to do right now, which is play Guardian Animals. But we have 5 beasts in our deck, so that's good. So let's play this. All right, we got Lake Thresher. These want to die because we're gonna hit this here. Draw some cards. We're gonna hit that there. Take down the big things. Give it +5. They get a 5/6, which is rude. We could get a mana. That isn't gonna help us. That's not gonna help us. All right. So unfortunately. We can play Guardian Animals again. I haven't played this Priest deck, so I'm not. I mean, it's Galakron, but it's got some new cards in it that I'm not super familiar with. So now we have Moonfang, Lake Thresher, and Twilight Runner left to pull out with our Guardian Animals. So we can do some stuff. I would love to see our Defender or a Strong Man. I would love to pick that off the top because then we can play it for 0 mana next turn. Because our opponent now has a 5/8 that we have to get through. I don't like that. Nature Studies is not what I was looking for. All right, well, let's see what we get. Pull these out. Okay. Let's draw a card. Well, that doesn't help us. None of this helps us. Well, you do that. I'm gonna lose it too. Well, we got you, Sarah. Is there anything we can do with our mana? We can get up to 4 mana, which is not going to help us here. Okay. We're going to lose that. We're going to lose our cards. Would have loved to have Moonfang there. Didn't get Moonfang. That's okay.
Your mind is not your own.
Well, that's our Leg Thresher.
Dance, puppet, dance.
Stole our Leg Thresher. We can play Ysera, and then we can give Ysera Rush. I think we're gonna have to do that. Let's get a strongman. Why don't we draw the? We didn't draw a strongman. I wanted to draw that strongman. Okay, so we're gonna play Ysera. We're gonna give it Rush. Then we're gonna play Lightning Bloom. And we're going to play Breath of Dreams. That didn't do what I wanted to do. I wanted it to be one of the Dream Portals. It wasn't. Technically, I should have kept that because then I could have given the Dream Portal Rush. So I did fuck that up. I'll be the first to admit it. None of this is good for that. That's not... We'd have to play a spell. It's bigger. Let's just rush that. And we'll just call that there. I did mess up the order, but it didn't work out anyway, so it's okay. But yes, I should have drawn before I played Animated Broomstick. I'll now have 8 mana next turn, but I can bump that up to 10 to play Survival of the Fittest, and then Defender. You have a Shara and two 4/4s to hit the portals. Yes. Okay, so there's a portal. There's a lightning bloom. That's good. So that's pretty good. So let's make these better. We are going to hit 10 mana. Going to give ourselves 10-10 there. Going to give us a big 7-9. Wish that I had a way to give this taunt. Rush, don't have that. But we're going to kill that. Because that can do a lot more damage to minions. So even though it had less health, it can do, damage to other minions. And so I don't want to deal with that. I think we're in a better position than our opponent. Maybe we're not. We do also have the ability to restore 5 health, which will draw cards. All right, is our opponent going to... They're gonna do some damage. It's not a lot of damage, but it's some damage. Okay. Why did you do that? That was weird. That was a weird turn.
On wings of destruction they come.
You don't have a dragon. Okay, yeah, they were just gonna concede. Yeah, so I didn't play that particularly great. We still won. I'm glad our opponent didn't pull Galakron, because that would have been real bad for us. Hey, look at us. We're in silver. Okay, sorry. We'll get another game in here. We'll play for a little. We'll play at least one more game. I'm having fun. We'll probably go to 11, the usual. Thanks, everybody that decided to tune in. Tomorrow, I'm going to put some water transfer slides on this, and then we'll call it the build complete for the Enterprise Annex 01. Got some water transfer slides to put on there. And then we're starting a new thing, and I'm not sure what it is because I got to see what my $10 patrons voted on. But we'll be starting a new kit tomorrow as well. Ooh, all right, this is good. We got overgrowth. So at least on turn 4 we can grow to get closer to guardian animals. We'll get rid of that. So we are on our way. Nature studies, great. So we can play this on turn 3. That's rad. We can ramp a little faster. That's very good. Yeah. And then hopefully our opponent is playing some sort of deck where they're buffing with Librams. But hopefully we can grow so fast that they can't overwhelm us with the Librams. I don't know if that's going to work out, but we'll try. But yeah, tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, putting some water slide decals. It's been a while since I did water slide decals. They're nice. Some nice decals. Gonna put some decals. Not too many to put on, because instead of having a lot of decals, they just have a lot of options, so we could do a lot of different versions of the Enterprise. Hey, what if you picked your cards, opponent? What if MC Haha picked what cards they wanted to play? Like, I'll take a win. I'll take a free win, but we're on stream right now, y'all. All right, we didn't want to pull move. Oh, okay. Hey, free victory. All right, we'll play one more game because who on there? I'm not gonna answer that question. Hey, I'm gonna say this, folks, and this is a free piece of advice from Pat Bear to you. People that know, and some of you will know this, but maybe you don't. Nobody wants to answer the question, how did you get that? Be it, how did you get affiliate? How did you get partner, if you want to talk about streaming? How did you get invited to be on that thing? How did you get to do that cool thing that you did? How are you an ambassador to this thing? How are you on the front page of this thing? How are you this? How did you do that? Nobody in the history of anything ever wants to be asked that, because the implication is, and even if it's not intentional, the implication is, what's the trick? Because you don't deserve that. What's the trick? What's your secret? Because, like, I get that I'm not, like, a known person in many circles that gets to do cool shit all the time. And, like, you're not thinking of me necessarily as someone like that. None of these are good. None of these cards are good. We're just doing it for the discount. None of those cards were good. But this will cost 1 next turn. But, like, if you want to know how I, like, I'm not saying none of you asked this, right? But somebody asked this. How did I get this in Broad City? Well, the answer to one is I auditioned for it. But the answer to both is, well, I'm an actor. I'm not a well-known one. I'm not a popular one. But I am an actor. And so I'm also a guy that, like, did comedy for a very long time behind the scenes, on stage. And that means that a thing that happens in the world, in the world, period, not just the world of acting or the world of comedy or anything like that, period, in the world, a fucking really cool thing that happens is, if you are talented and not an asshole, then people will go out of their way to work with you. And if you're incredibly talented, you can also be an asshole. We just did some fine stuff there because we don't have our guardian animals, so instead we just made a board because that's fun. Because our opponent is going to want to draw through their deck a lot to get to whatever they're doing, and we want to prevent them from having a board presence. Okay. So we just did some shenanigans there. We're only going to have 2 mana this turn, but that's fine because we'll still make the most of our mana. 2 spells, give a minion. We'll just do that because that's a cool thing we can do. But yeah, so I got the bit on Jimmy Fallon was because the person who wrote it had just done a stand-up set a couple nights before, and we were doing bits backstage before that set. And we had known each other for a while, so when he was like, I wrote a nerd character, and they said, do you have anybody in mind? And he was like, Pat Bear. I got to do a bit in Broad City because I'm a funny person that does funny things, and people like to work with me. Also, I knew Abby and Alana for a very long time. I did a bit in their the web version, the web series version of Broad City, which was very fun to do. I think we're just gonna play this. We're just gonna use our mana for shit. Do some cool nonsense with our mana. But yeah, so I did a bit for them for free when they did a web series. It was really funny. It's a bit that people always enjoyed. So a thing that is incredible about Alana and Abby is every every season there had a bunch of background parts and under 5 parts and parts that they went out of their way to try to get people they knew and liked to come in to be able to audition for. If you watch Broad City, not all of them, but almost every one-liner, two-liner, five-liner is from somebody who they know that auditioned and did well enough to get their bit of business. Do I want to do this? Yeah, I do want to do that. You have to trade if you want this. You got to trade. And then I auditioned, and they liked me for the role, and I got to do it. And I had an agent that would send me out for things. I auditioned for a lot of things. Damn. Our opponent's doing a very good job of not letting us do cool shit. We've been doing cool shit, but our opponent, they have a lot of cards now, and we don't. There are a couple cards we could draw right now. Oof, shit, and they're just getting all their health back. We got a couple cards that would be great. That's not one of them. I would say there are a lot of cards we have that are very cool, and Innervate is not one of them. We'll take 5. Give them some cool shit to do. But yeah, stand-ups, musicians, actors, artists, writers. Nobody likes to be asked, how'd you get that? Because the implication is, because the obvious answer should be, I work my ass off and people like working with me. They think I'm a cool person and good at what I do. Because that's the obvious answer. So when you don't go with the obvious answer, the assumption is, because you shouldn't have gotten that. And it's weird. And that's a rant I wasn't expecting to make tonight. But I also didn't expect, hey, I shared this thing I did 10 years ago and have the response be, let me ask you an honest question. How and why did this happen? Like, don't ask people that. I'm not taking it. I hope you take this. I'm not taking this out on you. Also, folks watching later on YouTube, hi, YouTube. This will be archived, as always. Well, that's not going to do it. I was going to say, we have a couple draws here that would do some cool shit. This isn't one of them. We're not out of it because we still have a lot of health, but we're definitely going to concede this in a bit, probably. We'll just see what happens, right? Like I said, like we could pull guardian animals and still pull out some cool shit. Oh, only one left. Never mind. Strongman, Ysera. We could pull Survival of the Fittest. It's going to be tough, but we got 10 mana now. That doesn't help us. We'll we'll take the damage on this to see what we get. That doesn't help us. And that we can do this. We can do that. We can do that. Take 6. Just take 6 here. It's not great. We're not doing good, folks. We did some cool shit, but our opponent did just smart stuff back at us. So that's rough. But anyway, I apologize for ranting. It's just like, hey, that's not a question that I need people to ask me. Yeah. Clowns. Clowns. Opponent just fucking played clowns. Our opponent is clowning on us. Well, we'll do this first and see what else we draw. There's Guardian Animals. Guardian Animals literally draws nothing. This is good. Actually, here we go. We got 9-7. Then we got 10-10. Hey, look at us. Hey, look at us turning things around a little bit. I wish we had any beast that could get buffed by this. We now have a 10-10 Strongman in our deck and a bigger Ysera. That's kind of cool. A big Anubis Defender. That's pretty good. We got something to kill this 10-9. I mean, our opponent has a lot of cards. You'd think they would... Yeah, okay. Dark Skies. Yeah, all right. Ticketus? We hate to see Ticketus. No, buy Ysera. Buy Overgrowth. Buy Anubis Defender. Buy Guardian Animals. Buy Overflow. We have 1 minion left in our deck. It is 10-10 Strongman. Try to draw it. That didn't do it. That didn't do it either. We have a 10-10 and a whatever. Dream Drake in there.
For the wild.
I don't know. We got 2 cards left. I don't think our opponent can copy this Ticketus. Our opponent's playing Ticketus. They're playing Ticketus. I'm just going to let you know, folks, while this did do some damage to us, our opponent was already completely destroying us before they got rid of one of our win conditions being Ysera. They don't need this card in the deck at all. Ticketus is not necessary for what they're doing here. But we could draw Strongman. Get a 10-10 on the board. We can... Okay. Deck of Chaos, too. Alright. I mean, Yasharaj will replace Ticketus. Yeah. Yes, the new Yasharaj. Alright, we can corrupt this and make it even bigger. This will kill us. It won't kill us, but it's bad. Alright, so we're going to play that. And then we're going to concede. We could have played Guardian Animals, Coin, Dream Drake, but I just wanted to corrupt. That's fine. We're gonna concede. Oops. We're going to concede. We definitely... We did some cool shit, but our opponent just kept doing cool shit back at us. And we weren't going to win that one. And that's okay. Because part of it, in this world that we live in, yeah, Yasharaj, we'll just replay it. You were right. Or, Asmo. We won more than we lost tonight. And that's a victory. I consider that to be a huge victory. Winning more than I lose. Ranking up in both Wild and Standard. Winning a bunch. Making some silly plays that were fun. These are all things that I'm happy about. I got to show that clip at the beginning of the stream of, which you can find on my YouTube, of the 10 years of me doing 10 years ago tonight. Did a bit on Fallon, which was fun. We are going to go raid. That's what we do around here. This went longer than I thought it would because we were having fun, and that's always a good time. How long has Liz been going? Liz is someone we don't get to raid that often. I'm going to see how long Liz has been doing her thing. Did she write a tweet about when she started? She did not, so I don't know. But I know that I think she recently got partner, so let's go hang out with Liz. Enjoy the stream, Pat. Thanks for showing the clip. Yeah, and thank you, Wristband. Thanks for watching. Yo, Liz Star. I don't know when Liz started streaming, but I believe that Liz recently got partnered, so we were at least going to go give Liz a raid. Liz is playing some kind of retro stuff, because that's what Liz does. Liz is a retro streamer and a speedrunner, Liz Star. So we're going to give Liz a raid, because it's cool that we get to do that. Thanks so much for hanging out. Hope you can come on this raid tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. Doing some panel stuff, putting some water slide decals on our kit, then starting a new kit. It'll be Lego or a high grade is my guess. That's how the voting is going to go. I actually don't know. I have to go look to see how people voted. But that'll be tomorrow. Thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Good night and goodbye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.